All Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and I'd like to start off this episode of Renegades of Puck TV by saying vote. Vote for the Renegades of Puck because the Sobros Network, and you can find this by going to Sobros.com. You can see the ballot right there on the screen now, and you can see the article just so you know exactly how to find it. The Sobros Network has nominated the Renegades of Puck in the nominees for the Sobros Network's 2021 Spirit of Nashville Awards for the best sports podcast in Nashville. After just 7 weeks on the job, we sure are proud to be included with so many great talents, and we sure would love if you would log on right there and vote for the Renegades of Puck. We sure would love to win this award. It would mean a lot to us after just getting started. Any recognition for the Renegades of Puck is great recognition, and we're very proud to be competing with our other great friends on the Forecheck Pod and so many other great talents. So again, SobrosNetwork.com, that's how you can vote, and we sure would appreciate if you would vote for the Renegades of Puck. RenegadesOfPuck.com is how you can get all of the information and access points to the Renegades of Puck, including how you can find our merchandise page. Our classic logo tee has actually been flying off the shelves for holiday season. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you who have purchased one, and we have kept that price down as low as possible for now to go ahead and get as many of those t-shirts out there in the world as we can. And we also have the brand new Pride logo shirts and other merchandise in the store for the Renegades of Puck. That merch link, again, can be found at renegadesofpuck.com, and everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck can be found right there on our main website. Social media. It is critically important to help an independent operation like the Renegades of Puck get their voice out there, and you can do that by going to a number of different platforms. YouTube, of course. We could use a subscription, and we certainly need you to pass around those links. The more people we get active and in the trenches on YouTube, the better it's going to be, and the more places we'll be able to go with the show as we continue to grow and expand. So please give us a subscription, and also make sure you're liking and commenting on the videos. Milo, our international correspondent here for the Renegades of Puck, is doing such an incredible job over there on YouTube of giving you guys plenty of comments to give some love to. So make sure you're helping us out over there on YouTube also. Facebook. It's very easy. Just give us a follow on Facebook. Search Renegades of Puck. Then share our episodes right there. We post them on our Facebook page each and every time. As soon as we get the links ready, we get them up there and post it. So Facebook and Twitter at Renegades of Puck, and then quote, tweet, retweet, like, just pass the links around. Help us out. Help the Renegades. After all, we're not going to get to where we need to be, and we're not going to build this thing into a force for positivity unless you guys are out there no half stepping when it comes to sharing on social media. It only takes a click. It doesn't cost a thing, and it sure goes a long way to help the Renegades of Puck. And of course, you should be watching us live on our Twitch feed. It's a lot of fun. It's therapeutic. We do bonus content on there, and sometimes the Renegades of Puck on the live stream even get to see me get very, very animated and drop many F-bombs. If there are mistakes to be made, that's where you'll find them over on the Twitch stream, and you get the information before anybody else can. So again, it's simple. Renegades of Puck. Anywhere you go, just search Renegades of Puck, and you will be able to find us. It's a unique hockey experience and presentation. It is the essence of no half-stepping. Partners, we've got plenty of them, and I can't wait to tell you about a few of them throughout the show. But the most important partner right now is each and every one of you, Renegades of Puck. Go to Venmo, search Renegades of Puck, or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, and you can help us out. We are continuing to add to the bunker. We are continuing to build things out, get new programs, get better software, and we're going to continue reinvesting into the program until we get things exactly where we need to be. There's no such thing as making a profit on this show in the first year. It is all going to simply be cost spent back into the operation so that the Renegades of Puck can continue competing with the major outlets out there. We're doing this on our own in an independent way. So if you can donate $1, $5, $10, whatever it is over the holidays, you just want to say, hey, Cap, you look tired. Here's a couple bucks for a cup of coffee. I sure would appreciate it. It would go a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck. So again, that's on Venmo. Now listen, there are some things you are definitely going to want to get on the grievance hotline and talk about. We haven't mentioned the grievance hotline in a while, but now that the Preds have had some very up and down performances and one very awful jersey reveal, I think it's time to get the grievance line phone number back up and out there. And the Ultimate Predator has been tweeting this number out for the last 24 hours. I'm looking forward to getting your voicemails. How often do you even get asked for your own opinion? I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to hear it in your voice. So leave us a message, 615-640-0916, 615-640-0916. 24 hours a day, you can leave a message, and it's totally anonymous. And we're looking forward to putting together our first video of your phone calls and my reactions to those phone calls coming up very soon on Renegades of Puck TV. So that's the grievance line, and you can talk all about that brand new jersey. You can talk all about the Nashville Predators play on or off of the ice. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have to say, go ahead and leave us that message there on the grievance line. Now listen, you're here for the no half step in hockey coverage, and that's exactly what I'm about to deliver to you, because nobody does it better than the Renegades of Puck. So we appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in the trenches with us. The Nashville Predators start today in 5th place in the Central Division after 23 games played. They have a record of 12-10-1. That is good for 25 points, but now have fallen 8 points behind first place Minnesota. The rest of the pack is also creeping past the Nashville Predators, as there's only one other team in relative orbit that's still left that could potentially pass the Nashville Predators. So I'll read the standings for you. St. Louis is in 2nd place at 27 points, then Dallas at 26, Colorado at 25, the Preds also at 25, but the Preds have played the most amount of games in the Central Division, or are tied for the most amount of games played in the Central. The Winnipeg Jets are in 6th place at 24 points. Then you'll find Chicago and Arizona pulling up the rear, 18 and 12 points respectively. The Nashville Predators on a home ice have a record of 7-5. Yes, it doesn't seem after some recent play that they would have a winning record on home ice, but they do indeed. 7-5 on home ice, 64 goals scored on the season, 65 given up. Now listen, this is a scheduling anomaly. This is the first time the Nashville Predators will play an opponent for the second time this season. Maybe we just got so used to last year, the Preds playing the same rotation of teams, that it was common to just always be playing the same teams. Now back to playing the full NHL schedule. It's very weird that it's taken until the beginning of December for the Preds to have a duplicate opponent. And that duplicate opponent is the Montreal Canadiens. The Nashville Predators looking to get a receipt on Montreal after taking, honestly, one of their worst losses of the entire season in Montreal on a recent road trip. After the Nashville Predators are finished with the Montreal Canadiens, they will close out the homestand, and then they will head out on the road, and it is a cornucopia of Eastern Conference opponents coming up. Tuesday night at Detroit, Thursday at the New York Islanders, so we will all get an opportunity to see the brand new Islanders rink for the first time. And then Friday night, the Nashville Predators will be in New Jersey to take on the Devils, and they'll follow that up, closing out the road trip on the 12th of December, taking on the New York Rangers. They'll come back home on the 14th of December to take on the Calgary Flames. Now, I mentioned duplicate opponent. These two teams met on the 20th of November. It was the Nashville Predators falling in Montreal 6-3. Montreal had a 4-goal second period, and it was quite possibly the worst period of hockey the Nashville Predators have played in their 23 games this season. It was Matt Duchene picking up 3 goals in garbage time after the Preds were down 6-0. So Matt Duchene did pick up the hat trick in the third period. UC Saros did not complete the game, 14 out of 19, but Riddick did come in relief and went 9 out of 9. Montebo got the win in net for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Canadiens are not a very good hockey team. They were not a very good hockey team when they pounded the Nashville Predators back in November. Overall, their record is 6-17-2. It's good for only 14 points and has them in 7th place in the Atlantic Division. On the road, they are 2-9-1. In their most recent stretch of hockey, going back in the previous 5, the 24th of November, a 6-3 loss at Washington, and an 11-26, a 4-1 loss at Buffalo, then a 6-3 win at Pittsburgh. How improbable. Then a 2-1 loss at Vancouver and a 4-1 loss versus Colorado. Jake Allen took the loss in that game, 30 out of 33. Tuesday will be the next game for the Canadiens after facing off against the Preds, and that will take place back at home against Tampa Bay. So for the second game in a row, an Eastern Conference opponent going on the road for just one game, coming to Nashville and then heading back out of town home to play. There is not a statistical metric that will wow anybody from the Montreal Canadiens. As a matter of fact, they're damn near the bottom of the league in every statistical metric. In goals for, 2.24, they're 29th. Goals against, 3.56 is 30th. Shots for, 29.7. They're ahead of the Predators in this category. No. Shouldn't be happening. Shots against, 33.3 is 25th in the league. Their power play is ranked 28th. They've scored 10 times on 77 opportunities. Their penalty kill has given up 23 power play goals against and is rated 30th in the NHL. Now listen, I'm not going to turn around and try to sell you a bill of false goods and tell you that the Predators' numbers are so much drastically more impressive, but when compared to Montreal, anybody's numbers are going to look pretty good. The goals for 22nd in the NHL is simply not that good, and the Nashville Predators are being propped up by just a couple of players on the offensive side of things. I'll go over those stats in just a minute, of course, but 22nd in the league in goals per game. In goals against, they're 14th at 2.83. Shots for 23rd in the NHL. Shots against 14th. The power play is 6th in the NHL, but it has fallen a couple of slots due to some recent games. They've scored 16 times on 65 opportunities, and the penalty kill unit has also been falling recently, down to 23rd in the NHL, now 13 power play goals against. News, notes, stats, and individual scoring for these two teams. Well, for the Nashville Predators, it's a list of impressive top-end stars, and it's so good for Predators fans to finally have an opportunity to see players somewhere near the top 10 in scoring in categories and not have to scroll down to the 100s before you find the first Nashville Predator entry, as we have all had to do so many times over the last several years. So for the Nashville Predators, still led in scoring by Mikael Granlund, 5 goals, 20 assists for 25 points. Matt Duchene's got 13 goals and 11 assists for 24 points. Yossi at 7 and 13 for 20. Johansson's at 6 and 12 for 18. And Philip Forsberg's at 10 goals and 5 assists for 15 points on the season. UC Saros, after the game against the Boston Bruins, now has a record of 10-8-1, a .923 save percentage, and a 2.34 goals against average. Nobody on the Montreal Canadiens would even be in the top 5 in scoring for the Nashville Predators, but Tyler Toffoli does lead the Canadiens in scoring, 5 goals and 10 assists for 15 points. Suzuki 4-11 for 15, Anderson 7-6 for 13, Druin 3-9 for 12. Jake Allen, I mentioned, took the loss against the Colorado Avalanche, has a record of 5-11-1, a .907 save percentage, a .296 goals against average. And Montembeault, whose only win on the season came against the Nashville Predators, has a record of 1-4-1, but an .877 save percentage of 3.65 goals against average. He did play a decent game against the Nashville Predators, but the Nashville Predators, frankly, completely forgot how to play defense on that night. It was abysmal, sacrificing everything simply to play offense after failing to play offense the previous game in Toronto. It was a jumbled mess in Montreal, and the Nashville Predators simply cannot allow that to happen again. Picking up only 2 out of 4 points if they beat the Montreal Canadiens at home in this game is not necessarily good enough, considering how bad Montreal is and how far down the standings they are going to finish by the end of this season. The Nashville Predators must pick up these 2 points, and I will not be too critical of them if they at least break even, but they should not have dropped that one in Montreal, and they cannot drop this one on home ice. So that gets you all set up for the next game for the Nashville Predators with the Montreal Canadiens. And hopefully for the Nashville Predators, they close out this homestand on a big high note, because it's going to be a big road trip to the Northeast and a couple of tough buildings to go into that the Nashville Predators have had some tough times in the past. And frankly, they have no idea what they're going into with the Islanders' brand new rink. Nobody does. But hopefully the scoreboard will at least be hung over home ice, and there won't be a car parked in the corner of one of the attack zones, and the stands will be somewhat level with the ice and not, for some reason, 18 feet above the boards. It never made sense what happened with the Islanders at Barclays Center, but that's something that we can discuss down the road a little bit, and I'll share some of my memories of being at Nassau Coliseum and some of my time going to see games up there in that part of the world where I am originally from and where I used to live. All right, it's time for the Rebirth Sports Recap. You give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the game. You give us an additional 10 minutes, and the Renegades of Puck will give you all the stats, analysis, and opinions to have you all caught up on everything related to the Nashville Predators. First, I want to tell you briefly about Rebirth Sports. Please go to rebirthsports.com and take a look at the incredible work that they do. You see it right here on every episode of Renegades of Puck TV. You've also seen me wearing Rebirth Sports jerseys in multiple tournaments, including the Wish Cup. You've seen me wearing Rebirth Sports jerseys for the Mighty Drunks. As a matter of fact, 5 or 6 different versions of Rebirth jerseys. Every time I wore one of those sweaters to the rink, compliments, questions, where did you get them? How can I get my own? Well, you can get your own by going to rebirthsports.com, also searching Rebirth Sports Facebook and Twitter. They are jersey tailors. They can make your hockey outfit and operation look incredible, as they have done for the Renegades of Puck. Looking forward to getting a package from them very soon. Rebirth Sports, stick taps, love and respect to you. Appreciate everything you do for the Renegades of Puck. Now, let's go back and talk about the Nashville Predators versus the Boston Bruins. The game took place on December the 2nd of the year 2021, and head coach John Hines deployed his lineup like this. Tolvanen, Johansson, and Cunnin on the first line, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchesne on the second line, Trennan, Sissons, and Jeannot, the third line, makes up the third, and Cousins, Novak, Tomasino are your fourth liners in this game. Your D pairs and combos, Yossi and Fabro, Ekholm and Carey, Borowiecki and Benning, starting to see a consistency to the lineup since Philip Forsberg came back into the lineup. UC Saros also getting the start in net on home ice at Bridgestone Arena. After a couple of minutes of feeling things out, the Bruins, about the 3 and 4 minute mark, start to make a little bit of a push. And at 5:28, we see UC Saros come up with a big save on DeBrusk with the glove from the slot. And then 5:35, Pastrnak got a one-timer that hits the post. At 6:41, UC Saros has come up with another save, this time on Bergeron. The Bruins just seemed to hit another gear. The Preds were on their heels, but luckily for the Nashville Predators, the first TV timeout of the game would happen at this moment. Now, good thing for the Nashville Predators because they would gain some momentum after getting a chance to take a deep breath. At 7:35 of the first, it's a point shot off of the face-off win, and Granlund setting the screen in front. The Nashville Predators' first really good scoring chance of the game. At 8:07, Cunnin gets a good scoring chance on the breakaway. At 9:59, Cousins is stopped by Swayman on the doorstep. But unfortunately, the Nashville Predators' momentum would be circumvented not only by another TV timeout. It was weird how these two things seemed to work in the first period. One team had all the momentum until a TV timeout, and then this penalty is what really took the Nashville Predators' momentum away. But also the TV timeout seemed to work out perfectly. UC Saros has come up with a huge point-blank save on this penalty kill, but right after that, DeBrusk converts for his fourth of the season. It was a wrist shot snipe from the circle, and the Bruins are on the board with a 1-0 lead. At 18:11 of the first, Cousins has a back check that helps break up the 2-on-1 for the Bruins. Great job getting back and playing some defense. We hit the end of the first period. The Nashville Predators are out shooting the Boston Bruins 15-12. And I made a note about the heavy pace and that fitness will be tested in this game. Listen, that was an incredible first 20 minutes. Up and down the ice, physical play everywhere. And the Nashville Predators and the Boston Bruins trading scoring chances. It was a really fun 20 minutes of hockey if you were a Bruins fan or didn't have stakes in it. Tough for the Nashville Predators, though, to be behind after one. Coming out into the second period looking for a pushback, and unfortunately for the Preds, just 30 seconds in, it's the Bruins who are responding again. Carlo's got his second goal of the season, second goal of the game for the Boston Bruins. It was Fabro and Trennan teaming up for the turnover in the defensive zone. That ended up going tic-tac-toe to the back of the net. Just some unfortunate circumstances, but the Boston Bruins are a very good hockey team, and they were hard on the forecheck, and they forced this play to happen. 2-0 in favor of the Boston Bruins at the beginning of the second period. 4:45, Swayman, Scott Trennan, and he's stopping him off of the rush. Jeannot puts a gigantic hit on Zboril at the blue line, and it causes a possible knee injury. This was really a freak incident, a freak accident, and a freak injury because it looked to all people that this was going to be an upper body injury from the way the bodies collided. The body went into the boards, but the way he fell was just very awkward. He stayed down and had to be helped off the ice, and you don't see hockey players need to be helped off the ice unless they're really hurt. So unfortunately for Tanner Jeannot, good clean hit, but it did lead to an injury. 5:13 in the second period. UC Saros kicks out the pad to make a big save off of the rush. 11:19. Fabro breaks up a 2-on-1 with the layout to block Taylor. Hall's pass. 14:11. Tolvanen stopped by Swayman on the doorstep after Roman Yossi with the perfect feed. Eli Tolvanen cannot buy a goal. This looked like it was going to be the slump buster. This looked like for sure it was going to be the one, but Tolvanen could not lift the puck and convert. 15:23, Novak buzzes the net but can't connect on a scoring opportunity. We go all the way to 19:40 of the second period when Ekholm picks up a penalty 2 minutes for tripping at his own defensive blue line. He was going to give up a breakaway if he hadn't put the stick out and committed the penalty, so he prevented the breakaway, and the Nashville Predators go to the intermission after UC Saros makes one save on Taylor Hall's one-timer there at the end of the period. The Nashville Predators are out shooting the Boston Bruins 26-24 after two periods. It's a carryover of 1 minute 40 seconds of power play for the Boston Bruins, and UC Saros to start the third period had to be strong with a save on Bergeron and follow that up just seconds later with a huge save on Nick Foligno. 4:23, Swayman stops Forsberg off of the rush. 5:47, Haula, now with Boston, not with the Nashville Predators, hits the post on a breakaway, and this was an incredible sequence that I cannot wait for Nostradamus to take me through. UC Saros, as the puck hits off of the post, is able to get his pad to kick the puck into the 5-hole, and then with his other leg, all in one motion, kick the puck back out and into the corner out of harm's way. It is edge work, focus, strength, concentration. It is everything. That's all I can say. I need my starting goaltender to talk to me about that exact sequence, and he's going to here in just a couple of minutes once we wrap up this game. So at 6:04, Coyle is off to the box. 2 minutes for roughing. Swayman comes up with a huge save on Duchesne, and then Swayman follows that up with 3 more strong saves. Bodies everywhere, people falling all over the crease, and he just remains focused, intense, and stops every single puck that comes his way. 4 total stops on that penalty kill for Swayman. 8:59, Saros comes up with a save on Hall plus the rebound while falling backwards. A former MVP stopped by a future Vezina winner. Impressive stuff right there by UC Saros. And again, UC Saros was simply awesome in this game. Forsberg goes off to the box at 10:18, 2 minutes for holding. Saros comes up with a save on Pastrnak. Then Borowiecki's off to the box, 2 minutes for high sticking. That led to a 5-on-3 for 16 seconds. The PK survives all of that, leading to 15:05 when Cousins gets some jam opportunity. It has to be stopped by Swayman. 16:04, Sissons redirect. Yossi's pass stopped by Swayman. 17:03, we go to the empty net scenario. Swayman comes up with saves 40 and 41 on Tomasino on the doorstop with 27 seconds to go in the game. The clock winds and clicks off, and the Boston Bruins have a 2-0 victory at Bridgestone Arena. Preds outshoot the Bruins 42-33. The Preds are shut out for the second time this season, and you've got to give stick taps to Swayman. Now, the Nashville Predators could have battled harder and gotten more secondary opportunities. Maybe they could have got one by him, but they were getting plenty of redirects, plenty of deflections, and plenty of traffic in front of him, and he came up strong all night long with 42 saves, including some rebound opportunities. Tomasino's rebound opportunity right there at the end of the game was pretty incredible. So, unfortunately for the Nashville Predators, the up-and-down roller coaster, the Jekyll and Hyde, it continues. Now, there's no shame in losing to the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins, despite where they are ranked in the standings at this point in the season and where their record is, have been easily one of the best teams in the NHL for the last few years with this core of players leading the way. Now, listen, Swayman's not been a part of that. He found himself a nice victory last night at Bridgestone Arena, but haven't we heard that storyline so many times before where a goaltender comes in that maybe you've never heard of and suddenly he makes 40 saves and gets a shutout at Bridgestone Arena? It's almost a hockey cliche. I mean, I'm just shocked that the Boston Bruins didn't have somebody score their first career NHL goal in the game last night as well to complete the Nashville Predators bingo or trifecta or whatever you want to call it. So listen, that's a tough loss, but it's not the worst loss. The Boston Bruins are a good hockey team. They came to Bridgestone Arena and they traveled well. They brought a lot of fans into the rink last night. Preds fans, your building's starting to get overrun and it's starting to get taken over by people from out of town. You need to start getting back in there. You need to start getting loud. You need to start being proud. When the Boston Bruins scored last night, it sounded like they were playing at home. For the Nashville Predators, organization and franchise, they like selling tickets. They like making money. They'd prefer it to be gold shirts that were of the Predators' nature, but they'll sell tickets and be just happy with that. So listen, we've got to talk to Nostradamus. Now, UC Saros, I felt tough luck loss in this one. 31 out of 33, 2 goals against. He stopped an awful lot of incredible shots and incredible, amazing hockey players on the Boston Bruins. So Nostradamus is here to take me through a couple of those sequences and tell you everything that happened between the pipes for the Nashville Predators and the Boston Bruins, and also talk a little bit about what's going to come up with the Montreal Canadiens. He's the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35, and you can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. Nostradamus, take it away.
Thank you, Charlie. No Bruce Cassidy, no Brad Marchand, no problem for the Boston Bruins in Nashville. A 2-0 victory for the Bruins as they come into town and take care of the Nashville Predators. Reversal of fortunes for the Preds, of course, after coming off a shutout victory on Tuesday. They're the ones who are getting shut out on Thursday night. UC Saros did all he could. Once again, a quality start from him. You're looking at starting pitchers in baseball, talking about quality starts. UC Saros, in 15 of his last 18 starts, has surrendered 2 or fewer goals, always giving the Preds a chance at victory. Again, even in this game when they're down 2-0 late, they're one shot away from being right back in the thick of things. Not enough, unfortunately, for Saros, 31 out of 33. The Jake DeBrusk goal, a perfect snipe by him in the slot from about 20 feet away. picks a corner off, so no chance on Saros on that one. The Brendan Carlo goal, 30 seconds in the second period, really deflating that early in the period for the Preds. Carlo timed it very, very well. He waited for traffic to get in front. He had his head up the whole time, so credit to him. He picked a shooting lane to go after. He took it. Saros never saw it coming. He dropped into his butterfly and hoped it would hit him, but unfortunately, it did find the back of the net. And that's all Jeremy Swayman needed. 42 save shutout for him. I think the first two periods, the Preds were very, very easy on him. Didn't get a whole lot of traffic in front of the net. A lot of shots from distance. It seemed more like a Peter Laviolette era Nashville Predators team where they may have had some possession and a whole lot of quantity of shots on goal. Not a whole lot of quality shots on goal the first two periods. They did a better job in the third when they were desperate, got a little bit more into the hard areas. Nick Cousins did a good job in that regard as well, but unfortunately not enough. Swayman did a nice job of reading the plays, those bumper passes into the slot area, looking for those deflections. He read it. He came out of his net to stop those chances, and his defensive core around him took care of the rebounds that he left out there. So tough night for the Nashville Predators. Again, could have been, you could say that they maybe deserved a little bit better than they got, but unfortunately, when the first two periods, you don't really challenge the goaltender. It doesn't matter if he's 23 years old or 33 years old. They're going to stop those shots from distance, and that's unfortunately what happened tonight for Nashville. Up night, hockey night in Canada, Saturday night, 6 p.m. start. Montreal Canadiens come to town. Possible revenge game for the Nashville Predators. They were upset by Montreal 6-3 a few weeks ago up in Montreal. Since then, the Canadiens have lost 4 out of 5, including bad losses to Buffalo and Vancouver. Throw those in there. So Montreal, again, they are who they are this season. They're a bad hockey team, and the Preds need to take advantage of that and be hungry after this shutout loss at home. Montembeault played last time for Montreal. Jake Allen was not available. Montembeault 1-4-1 in the season. His only victory against the Nashville Predators up in Montreal. Jake Allen will be available. He played tonight against Colorado with not a whole lot of success. Not many teams have been having success against Colorado here as of late. So I do look for Jake Allen to be in net over Montembeault. Montembeault sub 900 save percentage this season, giving up over 3.5 goals per game. So expect to see the veteran Jake Allen in net. He's 8-7-1 against the Preds in his career, average numbers against Nashville. So it wouldn't be a situation where his career numbers really overshadow who you start if you're the Montreal Canadiens. But UC Saros versus Jake Allen, Saturday night in Nashville. Preds, get back on the horse, get back to their winning ways. They've been a little bit up and down here over the last 2 weeks. Need to get some wins strung together. Charlie, back to you.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. He is the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. He is a man so far ahead in the future. He's told you everything that's going to happen between the Nashville Predators and the Montreal Canadiens. He is, of course, Mostradamus. From ontheforecheck.com, I absolutely love this guy. I love his analysis, and he's appeared on virtually every show in the market this week concerning the Nashville Predators and the hockey that takes place in this city. From ontheforecheck.com, you can also find him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. Reach out to him on Twitter at SCSOTF. That's at SCSOTF. He is Sean C. Smith.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith. Just got back home after a kind of a rough night at Bridgestone and a lot of traffic on the way home. But let me say this. I want to talk more about neutral zone play and the way the Predators played during transition. This was a big theme in the pre-game practice on Tuesday before the game against the Blue Jackets, and we saw it pay dividends when the Predators were able to beat them 6-0. I wanted to see how the Predators would play in the transitional game in a game like this against a stouter team with the Boston Bruins. And it seemed like up front at the beginning of the game, they weren't as crisp as they needed to be in the neutral zone. And that led to some turnovers. It led to some odd man rushes for the Bruins. However, I will say that once the Bruins put up 2 points, they transitioned into a very strong neutral zone trap defensive style of game. And that made it a lot harder for the Predators to get zone entries. It made it a lot harder for the Predators to get into the zone with guys behind them to be able to get up close to the front and do what they needed to do. You even heard Ryan Johansson talk about it after the game when he said they needed to find more ways to get second and third chances when they did get the puck into the zone. And that's because it's really hard to get the puck into the zone when you've got 3 guys standing on the blue line. You either dump the puck in, and we all know how that ends up, or you end up getting one guy to bring it through and he has nobody behind him because they're still trying to get through all of the guys on the blue line. And that's when you have a big shot that goes up to the front and gets swallowed up by the goalie, or a big shot that goes up and just deflects off into one of the opposing team members. And I think we saw a lot of that. Now, I also want to talk about Eeli Tolvanen. Great article by Jeff Middleton over with me at On the Forecheck about how Tolvanen wasn't having the box score results that anybody was expecting or wanted, but how everything was going to be okay. I paid a lot of attention to Eeli Tolvanen tonight, and it was exactly like Jeff said. He's doing everything he needs to do except finding twine. He's getting to the front of the net. He's getting involved heavily on the forecheck, and he's really adapting to that hard-to-play against style that the Predators are looking for. Now, you're saying Tolvanen's not that big of a guy. How's he doing that? But you've got to remember that being hard to play against doesn't mean you're a giant out there throwing your body around. It means that you're tenacious. It means that you're getting in and playing hard and aggressive on the forecheck. That can wear the other team down, frustrate them, and cause them to play in a style that reflects desperation. And that's what you want, is you want the other team to mess up. You want the other team to get tired. And if you're 5'10" guys doing that, that's what you need. The big body boys are going to throw their weight around against the boards, but you need the other guys to get in there and fight hard against the boards in the corners and just be aggressive on the forecheck. And that's not just a promotion for the website here or anything, but that's just really a thing that the Predators have been known for a long time. And getting back to that style of play is exactly what they need to do. And when you see a guy like Eeli Tolvanen, who's supposed to be an elite shooter, doing that, then you know he's doing the right things. He was in great position multiple times for shots up close. He's got a really good nose for getting the puck to somebody who's going to feed it in and getting to the front of the net. Those are going to start getting past the goalie, and it's going to be great. You're just going to have to wait a little bit. And I know we feel like we've been waiting forever for Tolvanen to arrive, but I'm telling you, the time is coming soon. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Charlie. Thanks, Renegades. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hopefully we'll get to play against Montreal on Saturday. A lot of guys going on that COVID protocol list.
You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. You can read his work at ontheforecheck.com. You can watch him right here in the trenches on Renegades of Puck TV. Sean C. Smith is incredible at what he does, and I'm so appreciative to have him as part of the show. I got a box score to go over and a couple of numbers before we wrap things up with a little bit of commentary and opinion, so I'll just turn the thing around. And I know you can't see it real well, but that giant box and square that I drew, those are all zeros, goals and assists, nothing. The Nashville Predators were truly blanked by Swayman and the Boston Bruins. The only statistical categories I can give you are shots on goal, your leader in the game, Roman Josi, 9 shots on goal, 11 total shot attempts, followed up by Cousins with 5, Duchesne and Forsberg each with 4 hits in this game. It was a fairly physical game out there. It always is when you play the Boston Bruins, and the Bruins and the Preds are starting to play a very similar, very heavy style, and they were putting it on display last night. You had Jeannot with 4 hits in the game. You had Cunnin with 4 hits. You had Sissons with 4 hits. Borowiecki had 3. Granlund also added 3 hits to this game, and Mikhail Granlund led the team in time on ice at 21:52 skated. That's out of the forward grouping. Roman Josi, of course, led the team in time on ice, as he almost always does, 27-26 in total time on ice. Unfortunately for the Nashville Predators, just no way to get the puck by Swayman, no way to beat the Boston Bruins, and they're going to have to be better than that against the Montreal Canadiens. Listen, that's tough to go from 6-0 against the Columbus Blue Jackets to suddenly losing 2-0 against the Boston Bruins. It's a tough loss, but it's not the worst loss, and the Nashville Predators have an opportunity to rebound, close out the homestand, and pick up a second victory this week on home ice. The box score and the numbers are brought to you by Stripe Digital Solutions. Go to stripedigitalsolutions.com. Also, search Stripe Digital Solutions, Facebook, Instagram. Stripe Digital Solutions did not only help me create this logo, it helps me maintain my website, renegadesofpuck.com, but is also helping me come up with a digital marketing plan that is going to get the Renegades of Puck in front of so many more people. You can't fight the algorithm all alone. You need a partner like Stripe Digital Solutions, and Brandy over at Stripe Digital Solutions can help you out. Let them know that you heard about them right here in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck, and let Brandy start helping you today from Stripe Digital Solutions. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us here. We are here in the trenches. We will do one of these shows for each and every Nashville Predators game this season. season. And as we continue making that the spine and the base of the show, we will start expanding into more local hockey. I have some new correspondents coming online here in the next couple of episodes. So keep tuning in, keep spreading the word, keep passing the links. And as we get through month 2, as we get into month 3, month 4, as we start to get our first season in the books, we'll continue to expand and grow this show to a point that I have in my head. I have the vision. There's a reason I'm the captain and I'm the leader of the Renegades of Puck. The vision is mostly here. We have accomplished a lot in just 7 weeks, but there is so much more that I want to do, and there is so much more than I can accomplish. I'm out there fundraising, I'm out there recruiting, and I'm out there trying to get us everywhere we can possibly be. Currently in negotiations to get us platformed by a major national platform network, but I can't talk about that kind of stuff yet. I just need you to know, Renegades, that's the kind of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So that's why it's so critically important as we grow for you guys to help us out. Now listen, you also come here to get opinions, and strong opinions at that. So I want to give you a strong opinion. I want to tell you opinion and commentary segment right here, and it is about the jersey for the Stadium Series. It's brought to you by Strong Style Fitness. StrongStyleFit.com is where you can find everything related to Strong Style Fitness. Also, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find all of the information right there. Certified personal trainer offering you free workouts. From beginner to expert, everything that you want to accomplish, get up, get moving, get motivated, build muscle, tone up, whatever it is you want to do, Strong Style Fit can help, and it's all right there for you. You just got to get on there, go through the playlist, find what works for you, and Tracy will guide you through each and every one of those videos. She's an incredible personal trainer who puts a lot of no half-stepping into the design of these workouts, the execution of these workouts, and I can tell you from the clients that she has and the amount of turnaround that they have had, if you get on there and you start doing these workouts, you won't have to have a gym membership. You won't have to spend that money on an expensive personal trainer. It's all right there. You just have to go and do it. Strong Style Fit. That's exactly how you can do it. Let them know you're hearing about them in the bunker. We appreciate each and every one of you. Now, what is the opinion? What is the commentary of the Nashville Predators? Well, they released the Stadium Series jersey yesterday. Everybody wanted it before Black Friday so they could go ahead and order them and get that sale and go ahead and handle that business. All the Christmas presents were going to be taken care of. People were going to get the tickets. They were going to get their jersey. It was going to be just like we all did for the Winter Classic, and it was going to work out perfect. And then they had the jersey reveal. And listen, I am solidly on the team that took a big old dump on the jersey upon initially seeing it. And I probably will continue doing so because I just simply don't like it very much. I don't know what I was expecting. I understand these Stadium Series jerseys have always been atrocities to the great game of hockey, but that doesn't mean that the Nashville Predators had to have a jersey that's considered one of the ugliest jerseys ever made. From the back, it looks like a Steelers practice jersey. I can deal with the back view. I can deal with those numbers. I understand the size of the numbers is so the people that are 300 yards away from the ice can see the numbers and can recognize who the players are. But when you roll around in the front, it's just a jumbled mess, and I just don't like it. You know what I do like, and you know what I wish we would have seen? I wish they would have just brought back the black and blue jersey right here. I'm holding it up in front of you, and I'll just talk over it. I wish they would have brought this back. Everything from the checkerboard that goes across the bottom and around the sleeves to the logo itself, the color, the old Saturday night black and blue jersey was one of my favorite Nashville Predators jerseys that they have ever rolled out, and I just wish they would have paid some homage to this. I understand what they were trying to do. I've read all the explanations. I also saw the tweet that started with, designed by Adidas. Can you throw a little more towards Adidas? I get it, Preds. You didn't design them. But I think for the most part, Preds fans would have loved something a little cleaner, something a little more that was like this. This is nostalgia for the Nashville Predators fans, and they would have loved to see it over at Nissan Stadium. Hell, the jersey doesn't even have any type of tie-in to the Titans, whose home stadium you're going to be playing hockey in front of 70,000 people. I would have preferred this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to dedicate a lot of time to it because that's not what I do. I focus on the hockey. I focus on the analysis and the opinions. I usually leave the marketing and the sales and the gimmicks up to the team and the fans and let them do it alone. But there was so much reaction to it. Even local news stations this morning spending 3-4 minutes just taking a big dump right on the jersey. It's unfortunate that the jersey reveal went so poorly and the jerseys being received so poorly. The easiest way to take the other side of it is to say it's one jersey for one day, grow up, get over it, let people enjoy it for what it is, and move on. It's not like they've announced they're switching to those or that's the new logo or anything like that. I think a lot of us just wanted something a little more classic than that. And by the way, Renegades of Puck, I will be at the Stadium Series. We are organizing some things. We will possibly be having a tailgate, a pregame pep rally, and a bunch of other stuff. That's off in the future, though. But that jersey right there, the black and blue, I'm going to wear it that day in protest of the Stadium Series jersey. Yeah, I'm going to wear a jersey in protest. Hey, that's no half-stepping right there. Speaking of no half-stepping, we sure do appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. Remember, Rebirth, Sports Stripe, Digital Solutions, and Strong Style Fitness. Stick taps, love, and respect to them. Incredible partners in business. And each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, including each and every one of you. Thank you so much for jumping in the trench with us. It sure does mean a lot, and we sure do appreciate you doing that. Now, pass these links along, and Renegades of Puck, you're on your way out of here to enjoy your Friday night. Big game tomorrow against the Montreal Canadiens. We'll be back in the trenches, recapping it and previewing the Nashville Predators' upcoming road trip to the Northeast. For each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, Mostradamus, Sean C. Smith, Brian Baston, Kyle Perkins, the ultimate one who's on IR, and of course, each and every one of you. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, respect.